Today we're going to be looking at 10 more free Switch games. Last summer I put together a video that was a list of 10 free games that you could download onto your Switch that wouldn't cost you anything to get started on, and I wanted a part of the focus of that list to include games that would not require you to have a Nintendo Switch Online subscription. For this second video though, I'm going to split it into two parts. I will still look at 10 games, but they will be divided into a Nintendo Switch Online portion that includes games that you can download for free with your subscription, and a portion that you do not require Nintendo Switch Online to play. So, skip ahead to the timestamp here on screen if you want to just see the free games that you can get without Nintendo Switch Online. Finally, similar to my last video, these games aren't ranked, but they're just in alphabetical order. So sit back, like and sub to the channel if you're a fan of free games on Switch, and enjoy. And with that, let's get to it. Alright, starting with games that you can get with your Nintendo Switch Online subscription. We have a couple that do not currently have an end date, and going in alphabetical order, we actually have the newest game on this list, which is Pac-Man 99. Coinciding with the frankly ridiculous removal of Super Mario Bros. 35, Pac-Man 99 is another classic franchise that has been enhanced with Battle Royale style gameplay. I've never been huge into Pac-Man, but I have given the 2D versions of the game a try when they change up the old formula, like the Championship Edition games, and the Hidden Gem Pac-Man versus on the GameCube. In Pac-Man 99, you eat your way to victory by collecting these translucent ghosts that add a trail to one of the main ghosts, and when you eat your power pellet, you can chain them together in a big way, sending little Pac-Man clones to your opponents to slow them down. Things do start to get pretty frantic as players start dropping off, and when you're down to about the top 30, red Pac-Man starts showing up on your screen, and if you hit them, you lose. Eating a fruit will erase them, but they come back almost immediately, so there is something else on the screen that you need to work on avoiding in addition to the standard 4 ghosts. I think the formula works for Pac-Man 99, but I am not that good, as within my first 20 or so matches, I only finished in the top 10 once. If you want something other than the regular Battle Royale mode though, you can purchase offline DLC like in Tetris 99 for $19.99 Canadian. Note, every other time I mention a price in this video, it is going to be in Canadian dollars. There are also themes that you can buy, which will be $2.49 each, which seems like a bit of a ripoff. But if you don't want to spend that $2.49 each on the 20 themes, buy it along with Mode Unlock for the single price of $39.99. Super Kirby Clash has elements like several other free-to-play games, those being premium currency and timer cooldowns for your turns. But this is actually a pretty fun cooperative boss battle fighter. You start on your own, but soon recruit up to 3 other Kirbys to fill your team, ideally using one of each different type, those being Sword Hero, Hammer Lord, Beam Mage, or Dr. Healmore. As you play and level up, you gain access to stronger weapons to craft, and in the couple of hours I've put in, it saw me get to level 10, and so long as you continue to level up the gear for each of your allies, the game shouldn't be too difficult. And hey, the game comes with amiibo functionality, so I guess that's kinda cool. One of my favorite games on Switch is Tetris 99. Tetris 99 is a Battle Royale style Tetris game, in that you are pitted against 98 other players, and you clear the lines in your well in an effort to be the last one standing. If you've ever played Tetris, the gameplay of Tetris 99 will feel very familiar, as nothing really deviates from the classic Tetris formula. But, as a Battle Royale game, you will receive junk lines from your opponents that are targeting you, which will cause your well to fill up quickly if you yourself aren't clearing lines consistently. There is some strategy to who you send the blocks to. I just typically send them back to those who are attacking me, but there are other targeting methods that you can set using your right joystick. Tetris 99 also has paid DLC, which costs $12.59. That allows you to play some offline modes if you want to play Tetris in a more classic way. Alright, now before I get to the games that do not require Nintendo Switch Online, do not sleep on the additional games you get in the NES and SNES library. There do tend to be some fluff titles, just like in the eShop, but it's also filled with classics from Super Mario Bros. 3, All-Stars, Link to the Past, and the Donkey Kong Country games. A lot of these games do still hold up today, so be sure to check them out as part of your Nintendo Switch Online subscription. Now for games that do not require Nintendo Switch Online. First up is Angry Bunnies Colossal Crusade, or ABCCC for short perhaps? Honestly, this is just a free-to-start Angry Birds clone, where instead of birds having different effects, it's bunnies. The game is short if you only want to play the free version, coming in at a modest 30 stages, which up until the final page here were quite easy, but some of them are actually pretty tough. If things do get too tough though, you can use some of your credits that you've accumulated to purchase an additional bunny to launch. If you do not want to spend your credits or you have run out of credits, You can figure out what works by noting the power and angle meters and replicate those shots that are working for you. It doesn't always replicate the same shot consistently, but you can kind of figure out what your best shot is on a level and repeat it until you succeed. I honestly don't know how I was supposed to complete this 30th level here with the 4 bunnies they gave me, as everything had to be so precise, but maybe there's something I'm missing. You can purchase additional levels at a cost of $1.29 if you did enjoy those first 30 levels. Apex Legends. Releasing in March 2021 on Switch, which was just over 2 years after releasing on PC, PS4, and Xbox One, you can finally play this popular free-to-play game on your Switch. I never played it prior to capturing this footage, so I cannot really compare it to the other consoles, but it ran smooth on Switch for me. If you haven't played Apex Legends like me, you would be forgiven in thinking that it's another generic free-to-play shooter, which, spoiler, is not going to be the last one on this list, but is probably the most polished. Much like its most similar counterpart, Fortnite, Apex Legends is broken into seasons that you can use your in-game currency to buy a season's pass, which will award you with loot while you level up, which is generally skins and cosmetic changes. Nothing that's really considered pay to win. The main gimmick in Apex Legends is the Battle Royale style bouts, which you are sent in trios or pairs attempting to be the final team standing. I think the game really depends on playing with a party of competent teammates. So the games I played, if any of the teammates I had are ever watching this, I'm sorry for being garbage and holding back the team. Circle of Sumo Online Rumble is an online sumo wrestling game that is a little bit more than just a Mario Party minigame. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's a bit of strategy to be had here by running and blocking as you attempt to push your opponent out of the ring, but things get stale pretty quickly. The familiar premium currency scam that you see in many other mobile games exists here as well. You can grind out silver Mon, and you can unlock boxes or Takarabako, but the premium currency Rio is what you need to use to unlock characters and stages, which is sold in bundles for way more real money than is necessary. Don't get fooled, because what you quickly realize is that Online Rumble is a taste of what you can get with the full version of Circle of Sumo. Kind of like free samples at a grocery store. Want more? Well, you're gonna have to pay. The game Circle of Sumo sells for $11.99, which I have not bought, but there are several game modes that include hockey, soccer, and some races. Nothing that really seems too in-depth, but might be worth a shot if you pick it up on sale and have 3 other people to play along with locally. If this is your first time on my channel, it might surprise you to know that based on the footage you are seeing, that I've played a lot of Rocket League. In comparison to others, I likely don't compare, but it's the #1 played game on my Switch in terms of days played as well as total playtime, where at the time of this video stood at over 300 hours. Rocket League was not always free to play, and when the switch to free to play was made, I truthfully did not see that much of a change. I'm not one to purchase additional content too frequently in free to play games, but I've gotten a few Rocket Passes thus far, and seeing as I do spend a lot of time in the game, I feel it's worth it. In saying that though, I'm fine playing at gold level competitiveness without paying to unlock some of the flashy blueprints I have obtained. Rocket League has you playing Monster Truck Soccer, where you boost, jump, and smash the ball into your opponent's goal. You can play competitive soccer in 1 vs 1, 2 vs 2, and 3 vs 3 matches, and casually with the same setup. But in casual, you can also play Chaos, which allows for 4 vs 4 matches. Additionally, there are extra mode ranked matches, which include Rumble, where you will collect power-ups that have differing effects on the match gameplay, like being able to freeze the ball or shoot a plunger at the ball and pull it towards you. There's also Drop Shot, which you try to keep the ball airborne and land on your opponent's side of the arena, which eventually breaks away parts of the ground, and you'll work to land the ball in the open areas on the ground once it is fully opened. There's also Snow Day, that is like soccer, but the ball is now a hockey puck and bounces differently. And finally Hoops, that changes the soccer net into a basketball hoop that you need to score into to get a goal. Rocket League has consistent events that you can unlock timed exclusive gear and potentially a timed gameplay mode. And to wrap things up, there's a significant esports presence for Rocket League, which I cannot imagine how much more time I would need to put into the game to be able to stack up against them. Warface is an online shooter that has a surprising amount of depth. I also played for a couple of hours to see what was available, and I feel like the name of this game was meant to fool you into purchasing it instead of Warframe. But here there is an okay shooter with a decent amount of content. You'll start by going through a tutorial in which you will get familiar with the controls, and honestly, with 99% of my gaming being done on Switch, it's been a while since I've gotten into a shooter, and although it isn't a genre I'm deep into, I think the free-to-play nature of Warface allows you to hop in and get a complete experience. There are offline modes as well, so if you don't want to play online, you can still get time out of this game without having to spend a dime. The free-to-play game you probably meant to download and not Warface is Warframe. I say that because I had heard of this game before, though not realizing it's actually been available for 8 years on PC, with the Switch port actually being available for nearly 3 years now. There's a heck of a lot to do in this game, which unfortunately I do not have footage of because this game will not let me save clips, and outside of the tutorials you see here, I played in handheld mode. But you can take my word for it. You'll play missions alone or alongside others online and collect loot after you finish the missions. You can grind out upgrades for your Warframe, or you can speed things up by purchasing the in-game currency. The game runs well on Switch, which shouldn't be a surprise for a game that's nearing a decade old, but there is a lot of content to get through if you do not want to sink any money into this game. And finally, we have World of Tanks Blitz. Here you will face off in 5 vs 5 online PvP tank battles. I played through the tutorial levels and had a handful of online matches. I don't know though if I'm missing something, because I was never blown up and I never lost a match of the maybe 10 that I played. Am I actually playing against online opponents, or is this just terrible AI? Either way, the game controls alright, and you win by either capturing the base, which takes about 100 seconds, or faster if your teammates are helping capture with you. Or, you win by blowing up all of your opponents. Outside of the action, there are ample and robust customization options, and should you enjoy the game, I think there's a lot to explore. And by explore I mean grinding it out to get new tanks and their upgrades. But I think you'll need to have an appreciation for these armored fighting vehicles to get the most out of World of Tanks Blitz. And there you have it. 10 free games on Switch that you can play and enjoy without having to open your wallet. Assuming you already have Nintendo Switch Online for 3 of them. There are certainly games in this list that are worthy of your time. Heck, Tetris 99 and Rocket League are my 5th and first most played games in terms of hours on Switch respectively. So let me know in the comments below if you have tried any of these games, or if out of the 20 I've covered between my 2 videos, there's a free game that I should be looking into. Like always, appreciate you taking the time to make it all the way to the end of the video, and if you haven't done so already, a like would be great, and subscribing to SirLink Gaming would really help. I will see you in my next video.